10 News begins with breaking news.
Yeah, there is a chase happening now in Los Angeles. I'm Virginia Shaw.
I'm Jason Martinez. A slow-speed chase of a minivan. Let's get to Kalina Ysidro in the 10 News Live Center.
Yeah, so this chase actually started on the Ventura Freeway on the 101. We have some clips from earlier today. This actually just kicked off about 30 minutes or so ago, and it started on that 101 freeway, and now it's transferred over to surface streets in North Hollywood. Now, it is believed that this man actually has a gun, and that was the initial call that came in when LAPD tried to actually stop this person. Now, he's been obeying traffic laws and not actually driving erratically. So as of right now, the LAPD actually pulled back a little bit. They're letting the helicopters kind of pinpoint where he is and what his actions are at this time. They don't believe that he's going to be driving any more erratically than he has been. But this is so far the situation here. So I'm going to continue to monitor this and let you know about any updates and when the situation actually ends. Jason?
All right, thank you very much.
So a former Marine just tried to get murder charges dismissed for a crash that killed 2 medical students.
Yeah, the judge refused, and 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live outside of the courthouse with the argument that driver's lawyers made.
The lawyer said he didn't intentionally kill the 2 women, but the judge dismissed that motion to deny the drop the second-degree murder charges. If convicted, Jason King will face 30 years to life in prison, plus an extra 14 years for charges of second-degree murder, DUI, and other charges from that night. Now, today, King sat in between his 2 lawyers with a straight face as they tried to get the second-degree murder charges dismissed, but prosecutors say King was driving drunk when he went onto the 163 in the opposite direction, crashing head-on into the car full of med school students. 2 of them, 23-year-old Madison Cornwell and 24-year-old Ann Lee Baldick, were killed. King's lawyers argued today that he didn't intentionally drive recklessly, but instead took a wrong turn onto a one-way street that ended with him on the 163. Today, the judge said King was warned multiple times by different people right before the crash that he was just too drunk to drive, and that he even took a driving course about the dangers of drunk driving in the Marines weeks before the crash. But despite the warnings, he still got behind the wheel after a night of partying and drinking.
If there were not the repeated warnings on the night in question, you're too drunk to drive, I'll drive you home, you can stay in my apartment, I'll call you an Uber. If there were not all of those warnings on the night in question, I would be granting your 995.
King's trial is set to begin on March 20th. Reporting downtown, Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. So water full of bacteria, lead, and copper. Students at 3 San Ysidro schools can't use their water fountains right now. And 10 News reporter Jared Aarons live at one of those schools where the district is shipping in bottled water for these thirsty kids. Jared.
Jason, they're shipping in more than 1,600 bottles of water a day, enough for at least 1 for every student here at La Mirada Elementary and also at Smythe Elementary down the street and San Ysidro Middle School. The superintendent tells me it's because the faucets on their drinking fountains have to be replaced.
Because the faucets are so old here that it was just coming from the fixture that has been in place since 1973.
So they've shut off the fountains at those schools, and the students put up handwritten signs and caution tape. It's been like this at La Mirada since October, when a teacher noticed milky blue water coming out of one of the fountains. The other 2 schools were added in January as a precaution because their fountains are the same age. Now, stacks of bottled water are in every classroom, and teachers are making sure the kids don't drink from the sinks. But some parents we talked to are still worried.
The kids are innocent about this. They don't know what they're drinking. They're just thirsty, and they will drink whatever they find out.
The superintendent tells me those new fountains will be in place here at La Mirada by the end of this month, and they'll replace the ones at the other schools over the summer. In San Ysidro, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
And Jared, you know, the school district's certainly doing the right thing and making sure these kids are hydrated, bringing in bottles of water, but that's expensive. So how's the district paying for that?
Now, it's all coming out of the general fund right now, Jason. They don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, and they're going to need to keep doing it for several more months. So the superintendent told me he's looking for any companies that want to donate some water so that they can save that money and use it in the rest of their schools.
All right, Jared Aarons live in San Ysidro. Thank you very much.
Earlier today, retired NFL players learned that they will be getting a $65 million payout as part of a concussion settlement. Now, players with Alzheimer's or dementia can expect about $190,000 from the NFL. The family of Chargers great Junior Seau was not part of today's settlement. They opted out to pursue their own lawsuit. You may recall Seau took his own life and donated his brain to science. A doctor later found signs of the brain disease CTE.
Breaking news update in a horrifying crash. Officers arrested a teenager for running down a man right in front of that victim's stepdaughter. She watched as the man who was in charge of driving that car was handcuffed this morning. Now, the woman had just let her 75-year-old stepfather out of the car on Sweetwater Road when a Mercedes hit him. Officers say the driver, 18-year-old Andrew Thusen, took off. He was not driving under the influence.
Happening now, a former Coronado dentist accused of practicing without a license is in court. A judge will decide if there's enough evidence to try Robert Mansueto. Team 10 found him taking patients to Tijuana, where he pulled teeth, replacing some of them with metal screws as implants. Team 10 investigator Allison Ash is in court. She'll have the outcome of this hearing today on 10 News at 5.
At any moment, we could get a decision on President Trump's travel ban. A California appeals court heard arguments yesterday about whether to uphold the executive order while it's challenged. The president tweeted, quote, "If the U.S. does not win this case, as it so obviously should, we can never have the security and safety to which we are entitled. Politics." He also spoke this morning about building the wall.
General, now Secretary Kelly, will be the man to do it, and we will give him a wall, and it will be a real wall, and a lot of things will happen very positively for your cities, your states, believe me.
And Mexico's president is welcoming citizens who have been deported. This is new video from the Mexico City airport. Enrique Peña Nieto is reassuring those who were deported that the Mexican government will help them get reestablished. According to Pew, more than 16 million Mexican nationals have migrated to the U.S. the last 50 years.
Today in Washington, the Senate could confirm Senator Jeff Sessions as the new Attorney General. The vote is split along party lines. Republicans say Sessions is committed to fairness and justice. Democrats say he's too close to the president, too harsh on immigrants, and too weak on civil rights. Meanwhile, Democrats are defending Senator Elizabeth Warren. Now, Republicans silenced her last night while she was reading a letter written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow in 1986, criticizing Jeff Sessions' civil rights record then.
A person who has exhibited so much hostility to the enforcement of those laws.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called Warren out of order. She is now barred from speaking during the rest of the debate. This morning, Bernie Sanders said Republicans owe Warren an apology.
And I believe that it is unconscionable and outrageous that Senator Warren not be allowed to participate in the discussion.
As for nominee Sessions, he had no comment when he arrived on Capitol Hill this morning.
Happening now, scenes just like this house collapsing. This is in Northern California, where there's been one mudslide after another. There's been so much rain in this area, people are asking, is it over yet?
That's gonna go.
A San Rafael home destroyed by a landslide. A wall of mud sheared the home in half, damaging the foundation. The homeowner escaped, but it's a terrible loss.
Well, my mom and dad built the house in 1959, so I was born here. And I've lived in it for 5 years.
The two homes next door are still at risk. Trouble also on the roads, like the Santa Cruz Mountains.
I was right there. I was right next to it.
That's the driver of the pickup truck who was hit by a landslide on Highway 17. Arnie Hudden was driving along when the mud tossed his truck like a toy.
He was trapped for 10 minutes, but climbed out on his own, leaving his hands bloody.
I couldn't get out of the seatbelt for quite a while, and everybody just kept passing, and it took me a while to get enough slack in it to release it so I could crawl out of that. I was trying to get out before more came down on me.
And this drone video shows the severe flooding on Highway 37 in Marin County. From the ground, it's easier to get around by kayak than by car.
That'll be some upside to all the stuff in your basement getting ruined, right?
This is in Kentfield. At one point, the water level was actually higher than what you see in this video. Crews had to make rescues on jet skis.
And they just need a break up there. And in addition, look at this, traffic backed up before dawn on the 580 freeway because of a pothole there. There you can see it right there. And at least 15 drivers ran over that pothole and popped their tires. So let's check in now with meteorologist Megan Perry now, because are they getting a break, or at least will they soon be getting a break?
Soon going to be getting a break. They have a couple more storms coming their way. Luckily not as bad as the ones that just came on through, but you can see it's raining in northern and parts of central California. And I'm sure you're tired of this phrase, but this is another atmospheric river event setting up. Look where the moisture is coming from, all the way in Hawaii. Widespread rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches, locally up to 8 inches, and 1 to 3 feet of snow possible in the Sierras. It will be drying out as we head into Saturday. This is going to bring a chance for showers here as we head into Friday evening. I'll have a look at that coming up in your full forecast. Virginia.